You guys seem to have been enjoying our injury series a lot, so we couldn't stop it there. If you've already seen our other videos in the series, you're probably well aware of how insane some of these injuries can be. From nasty cuts to broken ribs, I'm Walker from Full Mount MMA, and here's our 5th installment of 10 fighters who got seriously hurt. Number 10. Tyron Woodley. UFC welterweights Tyron Woodley and Colby Covington finally met in the UFC octagon at a UFC fight night back in September of 2020. Woodley and Covington have had beef for a long time, with Colby not being afraid to talk trash.
You would think with all the running and dodging he's done for me, Mike, that he would have this insane cardio. But no, he's getting gassed out by school teachers on some gladiator reality show.
When the two finally faced off, Covington was out to send a message. Going into the final round, he was up all 4 rounds over Woodley on all 3 judges' scorecards. In the final round, Woodley went for a guillotine choke and injured his own rib, losing the fight by TKO. Woodley would later go on to say that it popped earlier in the fight, and when he tried to stand up during the guillotine, it popped again, causing the most pain he had ever experienced. Number 9. Peggy Morgan. Back in July of 2016, Megan Anderson and Peggy Morgan faced off in Invicta FC 18. Early on in the fight, you can see Morgan's face already starting to swell up, and after just 4 minutes into the first round, Megan Anderson got the knockout. As the doctors tended to the injury after the fight, you can really see the swelling on her face. While still sitting in the cage, you can hear Peggy Morgan make up her mind to quit, and she hasn't fought a professional bout since then. Number 8. Robbie Lawler. Robbie Lawler faced off against Rory MacDonald at UFC 189 back in July of 2015 as the co-main event. It was a competitive fight, but all 3 judges had MacDonald winning on the scorecards going into the final round. Just a minute into the final round, Lawler managed to get the TKO, but he was still bloodied up himself. It was after the fight that you could see the extent of how brutal the cut in Lawler's lip was, and during the post-fight interview, it was hard not to look. Number 7. Eduardo Dantas. Eduardo Dantas faced off against Michael McDonald back in July of 2018 at Bellator 202. Just under a minute into the first round, McDonald landed a clean jab, knocking Dantas to the ground, and on the way down, his ankle twisted in a way that it's definitely not supposed to. In the post-fight interview, McDonald reacted after having just seen the slow-motion replay.
That's a horrible, I would never hope that for anybody, man. That's could be a career-ending injury, so I feel kind of bad. I didn't try to, but I feel bad for the guy. That sucks horribly.
Dantas had to undergo surgery the following Monday, largely because of his broken fibula. Luckily, he's continued to fight since the injury, but he parted ways with Bellator back in 2020. Number 6. Belal Muhammad. After Khamzat Chimaev was destroying his way through the UFC, he wound up getting matched against Leon Edwards, the number 3 ranked fighter, after only 3 fights in the UFC. After complications with COVID, the fight was forced to be pushed back, but due to lingering effects, this would happen all 3 times the fight was planned. Eventually, Leon Edwards would find a replacement for his fight, Belal Muhammad, who stepped in on 3 weeks' notice. This was Belal Muhammad's first main event with the UFC, and he was hoping to take full advantage of it. Unfortunately for both of them, Edwards accidentally poked Belal in the eye in the second round, causing enough damage that there was no way for them to continue, leading to a no contest.
Yeah, just finally starting to get the vision back. The swelling starting to open up now, so thankfully there was nothing to the eyeball. It was just really bad scratch, cornea, and the lid.
After the fight, Leon Edwards started pushing for him to get a title fight next, while Belal was not happy about how things ended and wanted a rematch.
So I believe I should be next to the title shot. Like I said, build myself back up. So that's what should be next, I think.
My message to him is, if you're a man, take the rematch. I literally took this fight on 3 weeks' notice, coming off a fight, coming off of injuries, didn't care about them, to give you the respect, because I know you needed a fight and you needed an opponent. So I sat there, went through another camp, went through another weight cut, made weight, made championship weight to give you this fight. I promoted the fight, I pushed it. So give me the respect as a man, as a fighter, as a martial artist. So let's do this.
Number 5. Augusto Sakai. Augusto Sakai and Alistair Overeem faced off against each other in September of 2020 as the main event for UFC Vegas 9. We're going to jump straight into the 4th round of the fight, where Overeem laid down some serious ground and pound, busting open Sakai's eyelid. You could already tell it was nasty, but it's once he's cleaned up between rounds that you can really see how bad the cut was. Overeem would get the TKO less than a minute into the 5th round, and we got to see the nasty cut again during the decision. Number 4. Albert Gonzalez. During the Bellator 226 postlims after the main event between Bader and Congo that was declared a no contest due to an eye poke, something happened to steal all the attention. Albert Gonzalez was making his Bellator debut during the postlims when just over a minute into the first round, his leg kick was checked, leading to this horrific break.
Inside, like, oh, he broke his leg. Oh my God! Broke his leg.
Yeah, I broke my tibia and my fibula. I snapped my leg. Yeah, both of them. They both snapped at one time. I was throwing my kicks pretty hard and yeah, man.
Gonzalez would return a year later at Bellator 249 where he would have his right elbow dislocated but still managed to get the win by TKO retirement.
The blue corner retires after the completion of round number 2.
Number 3. Keteg Pliev. Recently, Keteg Pliev faced off against Devin Goodale at Cage Fury Fighting Championship on April 1st of this year. It was actually his debut with the promotion and it turned out to be an insanely memorable one. During the second round, Keteg's finger was just missing.
Oh my God.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, in the 2300 arena, if you could please check around your seats, perhaps under your chair. We're trying to locate a missing finger, and I'm not joking.
They were searching around the cage for it until eventually they found it in his glove. Despite losing his finger, he was shockingly calm about the subject, showing insane toughness and heart. Since losing his finger, they surgically reattached it, and surprisingly, he's already gone back to training. He also took this opportunity to try to show Dana White his toughness.
Finger back in place. One finger for one contract UFC. Back to the same place, guys. I'm in.
Number 2. Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman faced off against Uriah Hall at UFC 261 on April 24th of this year. This fight was expected to deliver, but nobody could have predicted what actually happened. Weidman threw a leg kick which was the very first and the last strike landed, just 13 seconds into the fight. Snapping his leg in the exact same fashion that happened to Anderson Silva in their fight previously. Since the fight, Weidman has already had surgery and is well on his way to recovery.
Just saying, I love you guys, and thank you so much. There's so many people specifically I have to thank, but I just can't now. Bye, guys.
Number 1. James Vick. Recently, James Vick faced off against Andre Fialho as the main event for his debut with XMMA. Vick joined XMMA after having been cut from the UFC because of him getting 4 consecutive losses. As mentioned earlier, this was his first fight with the new promotion, but as it turns out, it was also his last fight as a professional. During the second round of the fight, Vick would suffer a brutal TKO, causing a horrendous orbital break. After the fight, he released a statement on his Instagram speaking on what happened. I'm very sorry to everyone who helped and believed in me so much this last year. The truth is I haven't felt that passion or love for fighting the way I used to in a long time. One of my main reasons for still fighting was to prove to my son that you can't just give up when things get hard in life. But this is not the way to teach him that. My orbital is broken on my right side and the fracture went all the way through to the other side, causing a bilateral break. Plus my jaw is completely displaced, so tomorrow they are finally doing surgery to fix it. Time to move on and focus more on my family and raising my son to be a great man. That's just about gonna wrap it up for our list of 10 fighters who got seriously hurt. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button down below. There's a lot of content we can't fit into these videos, so be sure to let us know anything that you'd like to see in a future one. Here's our favorite comments from the last video. Focusball said, "That's crazy. You're a former UFC champion and you need a GoFundMe? Hi. Being a UFC fighter." Marcus said, "If he dies, he dies." Savage number 1 said, "So anyone else think he sounds like the number 15 Burger King foot lettuce guy? Or is that just me?" That's gonna wrap it up for the comments. If you want your comment to be featured in the next video, be sure to comment on this one. Special thanks to Shatterpoint Studios for editing the video, and this is another one of the scripts written by me. Our links will be down in the description below. If you're wanting to watch more of our lists, be sure to click either of these 2 videos and subscribe to see when we post the next one.